And I want to touch on something you mentioned in your course on the website tricycle.org, and that's seeing the crooked tree as straight. And I'll let you go through this, but basically it's about how we try and solve our problems by fixing other people.
Mhm.
And you have this this metaphor or this example of seeing the crooked tree as straight. So would you like to explain that?
Yeah, well, that's. I'll see if I can do the condensed version. It comes from actually a Zen story about a Zen monk named Ikkyu, and he was traveling through a province in Japan, and the governor of that province had put up a sign in front of this very gnarly, crooked kind of tree, large tree that was growing. It's the kind of tree that, if you've ever seen trees that are on the coast by the water, that have been really sculpted by the winds and the rains. It was just incredibly sculpted and crooked tree. And he put up a sign saying that anybody who can see this tree as straight will win a prize, right? And all these people would see the sign and they would look at the tree and they'd walk around it to try to look at it from a different angle. They would think there must be some place where you can stand, where you can see that this tree is straight. Some people would lay down under the tree. One person actually went home and brought a ladder back to try to climb up to the crown of the tree and look down on it. But when Ikkyu came by, he was a Zen monk. He looked at the tree, and in a moment, he left and he went right to the governor's mansion. And he said, "I'd like to see the governor because I have the answer to the riddle and I'm here for my prize." And the governor said, "Okay, well," governor was a little skeptical, and he said, "Well, tell me, how did you see the crooked tree is straight?" And EQ looked at him and just said, "It's crooked." And that's the answer to the riddle.
Hmm.
So what does that actually mean? And I, in the piece that I wrote, I talked about what that means in terms of our human relationships with others, and seeing a person. When we see people, everybody looks crooked in the sense that everybody's got their faults, everybody's got their problems and limitations, and there's all these people in our life, and we see how they're living, and we think, why don't they just get their act together, right? Why don't they
Yes.
just, do this or do that? We don't understand why they just can't get their act together and live a good life like I am, right? Like we are. So we see all these people as crooked, and we put a lot of energy into trying to straighten them out. We do that by talking to them and telling them what they need to do. We counsel them uninvited. We send them emails about it. So we put a lot of our energy into trying to fix and straighten up other people who we see as crooked, right? And of course, they're doing the same thing with other people. And what we don't realize, what I don't realize, is that everybody who's in my little forest around me, they see me as crooked,
Yes.
right? And so we're all trying to straighten each other out. But EQ's response of how you see the tree as straight is by just seeing that it's crooked is a way of basically just accepting the crookedness of the tree in the sense that there's nothing to be fixed. This
Hmm.
is the nature of the tree. This is how it is. There's really nothing to fix about it, right? It's fine the way it is. And if we were able to do that, if we were able to stop trying to fix and rescue, because I say fix, but it's not just often we're trying to fix people in a way that we are trying to be compassionate, right? We love these people. We want them to have better lives. We want to rescue them from some of the suffering that they're going through, which we feel is unnecessary because they didn't make good decisions. But if we could just stop trying to fix people, stop trying to rescue them from their own nature, and we could accept them, it would create all of this now freed up space for us to just love them, right? And I had this experience with my own mother. She passed away about 5 years ago, but um, my mother spent a lot of time complaining about everything. And I remember being in the car with her once. She lived in Chicago, and I was visiting her. We were driving back. She loved the horse races, the thoroughbred racing at the racetrack, and so I had gone with her, and we were driving back. And the whole ride back, it was just one complaint after another. And finally, I looked at her and I said, you know, Mom, you complain a lot. And she looked at me. She gave me this look out of her eye. I can't really put it into words. And she said, maybe I like complaining. And I had this little light bulb go off, this little epiphany that her complaining wasn't a problem for her. It was my problem, right? And I didn't need to fix her complaining. It wasn't my job to get her to be a non-complaining human being. She was actually very comfortable being who she was. So she was a crooked tree. She was very comfortable with her crookedness. The problem was I needed to be able to be comfortable with her crookedness. And actually, that little moment helped me do that. It helped me drop a lot of my efforts, not all of them, but a lot of my efforts to try to get her to change in the way that I thought would be good for her. And as a result, when I stopped trying to fix her, we actually had a much better relationship. It improved significantly in terms of my just being able to concentrate on what can I just do to be a loving son towards my mom. So that was a wonderful gift, that particular moment, but it was very much in line with what I think EQ was saying in this Zen story.